Hello, welcome to Lennys Life Lessons. This is a discussion on relationships. Today's discussion will address love languages. These discussions are intended purely for educational purposes. I offer private, individual, and group counseling and coaching sessions in person, by phone, and over the internet. Please visit my website, lennylondon.com, for information about these services. My mission is to serve to advance you in living your life even more powerfully, richly, and joyfully. Subscribe if you haven't already to these educational discussions on various topics, posted here by noon 5 days a week. What is your love language? What is your partner's love language? Chances are you're not aware of your own, let alone your partner's love language. There are two aspects of love language. One is literally the words we use in our communication with each other, and the other is the expression of love through different senses. Today, I will discuss the languages we use. Next week, I will discuss the love language regarding the senses. The words we use sometimes are misinterpreted. In fact, so many couples I have worked with have missed expressions of love from their partners because they misinterpret their partner's communications, sometimes taking expressions of love as criticism, for instance. For example, a wife is severely depressed and she stays in bed much of the day. Her husband kisses her goodbye in the morning as he's leaving for work and suggests that she get up and do something. She hears, "You're lazy." He means, "I want you to feel better because I love you." Notice, she hears what she is thinking about herself, not what he is saying. No matter what you're hearing from your partner, whether it's what they are actually saying or not, it is filtered through your perceptions of yourself. Whether what they're saying is actually hurtful or not, if you are hurt, it matches hurtful concepts you believe about yourself. If what they're saying is actually hurtful and you do not feel hurt, then you do not believe that about yourself, or you do believe it and you think it is okay. And you'll just call them on being hurtful. But if you do believe it about yourself and you judge yourself, you will feel hurt. For example, the wife heard, "You are lazy," and felt hurt. It wasn't even what he was saying, but it certainly was what she was thinking about herself and judging about herself, which, by the way, made her even more depressed and unable to get out of bed. If she thought she was lazy and was okay with being lazy, she wouldn't have been hurt. Or if she understood depression and how debilitating it can be, she wouldn't have been hurt. If she was in bed with pneumonia, she would not have thought she was lazy. She didn't understand that depression can be as debilitating as pneumonia. For more information on this, follow Monday's discussions on self. The stronger you are in yourself, the stronger you'll be in your relationship, and the more remarkable it will be. And also follow my discussions on mental wellness, which will include discussions on depression. In this case, the wife thought she was lazy and felt hurt, and she missed out on feeling the love her husband was attempting to express. The solution is, when you feel hurt by what anyone else says, check with yourself to see if you're believing something hurtful about yourself, and then ask them what they meant. Instead of being upset and brewing about it, this wife could ask her husband, "Do you think I'm just being lazy?" Then he would have a chance to clarify. Now, the husband could easily have said what he meant in the first place. "I hope you feel better today, honey." He could have amped it up by saying, "Let me know if there's anything I can do to help." And if she had pneumonia, he might have even thought to say that. However, he didn't understand depression. He just thought she would feel better if she got up and did something. The first rule of love language is not to assume you know what your partner means, or that your partner knows what you mean. Make sure that you are correctly expressing and that you are correctly interpreting. Ask, do you know what I mean? Or ask, did you mean? Also, you may misinterpret your partner's criticism or anger. When you perceive what you perceive or may perceive as a criticism, it may be feedback intended to benefit you or support you, to look out for you. For instance, the classic, "Do I look fat in this dress?" The yes is not necessarily meant to be a criticism. It could simply be looking out for you. Now maybe the delivery could be worked on in this case. Instead of saying, yes, that dress makes you look fat, perhaps the partner could say, well, what's inside the dress looks great, but that dress does not show off your figure the way some other dresses do. In both cases, the communication that can be perceived as criticism is actually, I want you to look your best because I love you. If your partner is angry at criticism, you might think they're just being defensive, or perhaps they're, just feeling criticized. There may be more to it though. Maybe the criticized partner is feeling frustrated because they feel they can't make you happy. Don't assume that you know what your partner is mad about. For instance, the husband gets a haircut that does not look so good to the wife. In fact, the sides are so short she can see little bald patches. He finally finds a barber who gives him a great haircut at first, but after a few visits, this barber gets the size too short too. And the wife comments and the husband gets mad. She thinks he's being defensive and difficult, and he thinks she's being critical and hard to please, when in fact, she wants him to look good because she loves him, and he wants to please her because he loves her. He is angry more than anything because he feels he can't please her. Now, if they asked each other questions and listened to each other, they could open the door for deeper dialogue and deeper understanding, which is what intimacy is actually all about. And this will be covered in more detail in the future. Next week, love language through the senses will be discussed. But in the meantime, look for examples in your relationships where love failed to be communicated because of misinterpretation or miscommunication. And share those examples at Lennys Life Lessons on Facebook or here. Your sharing can help others see where they are miscommunicating, like the husband, or misinterpreting, like the wife. And consider what would happen if the angry couple sat down and had a dialogue about the hair, where they really listened to each other and got that she just wants him to look good and he just wants to please her. How would that affect how they feel about each other? Look for the discussion on deep dialoguing that will be posted soon, and look for the love language of the senses, sight, sound, and touch next week. And I will look for your post on miscommunicating and misinterpreting here and at Lennys Life Lessons on Facebook. Subscribe now if you haven't already for ongoing support, information, and strategies for further building remarkable relationships. Please share your thoughts, suggestions, and feedback at Lennys Life Lessons on Facebook and here, and follow me at Lennys Life Lessons on Twitter, and please visit my website, lennylondon.com. And thank you for joining me. I hope you'll join me again.